In AM W269DL Milwaukee, a Milwaukee Black media company.
The truth. Happy Monday, Milwaukee. It's your girl Jazz Tyler tapping in. Do not forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you are following us on Instagram at 101.7 The Truth and tap in MKE. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I am excited to be back. It's been such an eventful weekend. Not just for me, but for the city overall. I hope that you guys have enjoyed yourself. I don't know how you spend your holidays or if you celebrate holidays. Me personally, I don't, but I use it as time to, spend with the family. Call it like mini family reunions. So hopefully everybody got some good food in their system and some good adult beverages. And I know y'all was playing some dominoes and spades and all of the above. Again, happy Monday. Hope that you all had a safe weekend. We are going to tap into a couple of different things today. I really want to talk about my weekend in New Orleans. Shout out to all of my family in NO. For those who are not aware, I am from here, but my origin is New Orleans. And that was my first time visiting, which is insane, right? And I truly enjoyed myself. I enjoyed the culture. I enjoyed the events that I partook in, all of the above. So we'll get into that. But to kick it off, it seems like Summerfest was cracking. I've heard a lot about the performances, about the Jelly Roll's performance, LMA, just the entire festival. Wrapped up this weekend. Hopefully next year to be even bigger and better. Shout out to all of the performers. It seems like it was a very eventful week here in the city of Milwaukee. We are now prepping for Bronzeville Fest. Yes, Bronzeville Fest will be the first week of August. Shout out to Alderwoman Cogs and the Bronzeville Committee. I am extremely excited about this festival, as I am every year, primarily because this is something that is ours. It's owned by us. It belongs to us. We have a say-so. It's happening right in the heart of Bronzeville. And I am so looking forward to the events that's taking place. And I ask that we, support this just as much as we support Summerfest and State Fair and Greek Fest and all of the above. Let's make sure that we're supporting the festivals where we actually have a say-so and where our people are partaking as well. So again, shout out to the entire Bronzeville Festival committee, to all the women cogs. Typically there's about maybe 3 to 5 events per day, like for an entire week. So there's plenty to do. I know that they are looking for sponsorship. So if you guys are sponsoring, please make sure that you reach out to her office and again, go and support. I'm excited about this week. This week in particular, we have a very special guest joining us tomorrow. Katina is over the Brewers Foundation, and I'm excited to interview her because we often don't see that many Black and brown people in these positions. I had the opportunity of doing a field trip with my students at Howard Fuller about a month ago, a private event with the Brewers players where they gave away some, y'all call them Air Forces, Milwaukee, we call them Dookies. They gave away some all white Dookies. We got some free shoes, got a chance to paint with the players and talk and make t-shirts and all of that stuff. So I'm looking forward to speaking with her tomorrow regarding everything that the Brewers has going on in her position. So make sure y'all tap in. Now, let's get back into this New Orleans trip, okay? Because I feel deprived. I feel like I've been kept away from the best kept secret. If anybody knows me, they know, first of all, I'm a tourist, so y'all know I love food. I am a foodie. I am a little big person, I promise you. I absolutely enjoyed New Orleans. Oh my gosh. First and foremost, I have to give a huge shout out to my sister Zech Shakur, as well as Aisha Obafemi, for hosting me and having me. And I went down there just to spend some time with her, right? That's my sister. We have a sisterhood. She is someone who is very, very important to me in my life. And I needed a reset. So I felt like I could breathe, go down there, get in the pool, ladies' night, all of the above. We had some great, great, great activities that we were involved in, which included the swimming pool at her home, some drinks, some good conversations, and some amazing food. One of the restaurants we went to, honey, let me tell you, I probably gained about 5 to 10 pounds, baby. We had some crawfish cornbread, okay? Some char-grilled oysters with the Parmesan cheese on top, a fried oyster, po' boys. Oh, my gosh. Listen, I am so excited to return just so that I can have some food. I love Canal Street. It was very, very beautiful. I was not aware how tropical New Orleans felt with the palm trees and the culture. Again, my family, my origin is from there, so I was excited to see people that actually look like me. And I don't know how to explain it. Yes, we're all Black, but there's a distinct look with French Creole people. And to see so many people, it was like Tupac on Poetic Justice. Cousin, hey, cousin. So many people down there favor my mom, my aunts, my grandfather. Like, it felt authentic. It felt real. It felt like I was at home. It just felt natural. And I love the culture. I love the Southern hospitality. I love that when you're walking down the street, people speak. Wherever you go, the customer service is great. It just feels like home. And we had an event the first day that I arrived, that Thursday. For those who are not aware, I'm also a board member on the Amaru Shakur Foundation. And we had an event at the Ashe Art Center that was geared around mental health as it pertains to arts. And my sister Seth, as well as Brandon and a couple of other guests were speaking about mental health in the arts form and what it means to deal with grief, what it means to heal, what does joy mean, what does it mean to make yourself happy while expressing yourself, finding solutions to help you deal with grief, whether it's coloring, whether it's painting, whether it's music, whatever it is, just figuring out how you can get through whatever it is that you're getting through. And it was a very, very powerful event. Obviously, I have some biases because I'm a board member, but everything we do is great. And it was so amazing to see so many people become so emotional during this event and ask questions and try to, instead of a panel discussion where people are telling other people what they need to do, it was strictly solution-based. They weren't just talking about the problems. It was like, hey, we want to hear from you. What are you going through? How can what I've been through help you get through what you're going through? And it was very, very fruitful. So again, this past weekend for me, other than, one situation was very, very, very helpful, very amazing. Got a chance to really sit down and kind of just reflect, do some self-reflection, as well as assisting other people with reflecting in some beautiful conversations. And a lot of what I experienced, I would like to, as I always do, whenever I leave Milwaukee, I try and be fruitful. I try to go and navigate through the world, obtain resources and information that we may lack, and bring it back so that we can have some conversations, because we all know that us as a city, we have things that we deal with that's similar to others in different cities and states, but obviously it's personalized to fit us in the structure of our city. And I want to make sure that the information I am receiving outside of Wisconsin is information that I can relate to you all in case you are not receiving this information. And honestly, I need it for myself as well. So again, we're going to talk about New Orleans, the Essence Festival. We're going to get a little bit into how to deal with grief as well. So stay tuned. Do not touch that dial. Truth Nation, we got to go to break, pay some bills. 101.7 The Truth.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why? Why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Hey, 101.7 The Truth. Listen, welcome back. We are talking New Orleans. New Orleans. I just got back yesterday from New Orleans. I had to go to an event for the Tupac and Marvel Shakur Foundation. We were discussing healing and grief, but also mainly just to visit my sister. She invited me down there. We had an amazing time, and I am excited to tap into this Essence Festival, honey. Okay, let me tell you, Brandy and Monica. First and foremost, Brandy is that girl. I love Monica. I absolutely love both of them. But Brandy performance, her stage presence, her spirit, everything about her catalog of music is just out of this world. And I think oftentimes we forget how much great music they've made. And then most importantly, sitting back looking, I'm like, dang, they really the aunties now. It's crazy. Like, we grew up listening to their music. So looking at them as the quote unquote aunties was something a little different. We actually got a chance to see her in person at Houston as well, the restaurant, which was dope. And then Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo is a huge support system and a good sister of Set as well. She's also attended our events here for Set Day. But she brought out Yo-Yo. She brought out MC Light to do the I Wanna Be Down remix. Like, it was incredible. Now, the only cons is that it was about 3 to 4 hours long. The concert started with Patti LaBelle, which was a problem for me because, honey, that's Patti. There's no reason why Patti LaBelle should be opening up for Babyface, Brandy and Monica, and Leon Thomas. That made absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. But if they like it, baby, I love it. Now, back to Brandy. Brandy showed up and showed out. Monica did as well. But my favorite performance of them all, baby, was Babyface. Oh, Uncle Kenny was doing his thing. Do you hear me? That man is 68 years old. Got on that stage running up and down like a little jitterbug with the young boys, his backup singers. I personally didn't realize how many hits Babyface had written throughout all of these decades. So I was excited to see that as well, and to listen and just have a trip down memory lane, listening to the songs he wrote for Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown and After 7, and oh my gosh, it was amazing. It was amazing. I mean, as soon as I touched down and I arrived in the airport, I could feel the energy, I can feel the culture, I can feel the people. And when we got to the restaurant, I felt the people. When we got to Essence Festival, I felt the people. Like, it was just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful event. And again, I was extremely, extremely excited to get my first experience, to kind of get a feel of where my family comes from. And again, to see people that look like me, little red tint on them, certain type of bone structures with the cheekbones. It was like looking at my family. So, yeah, I was excited, and I'm glad that I got the opportunity to attend that event. So, I mentioned earlier that prior to me attending the Essence Festival, we had the Tupac and Marvel Shakur Foundation had an event at the Ashe Art Center, which is a center geared around the arts, but the topic was around healing and how to heal through arts, whether it's music, whether it's painting, whether it's poetry, whatever it is. But there was a lot of conversation around grief and what it means to have joy, and how do you separate what you're feeling from what the weight of the world is, and so on and so on. So today I want to talk a little bit about grief, especially because our city in particular, not has been, we continue to go through this. When I was gone and I came back yesterday, the amount of incidents that I've seen take place with people losing their lives in this city was insane. From accidents to violence to fights to all of the above. And if anyone knows me, y'all know that I don't like to dig too much in on the negative things. I like to keep it positive. But I also know that our city to its entirety is grieving. We're not just grieving people that loved ones that we lost. We're grieving the state of our city. We're grieving the chaos and confusion. It's just grief, right? And it's hard to deal with. It's hard to navigate through it when we have to go about our everyday lives. And a lot of people here tend to hold things in, right? We tend to hold things in. We tend to mask how we feel, which is not healthy. So I want to talk about grief today. When someone you love, not someone you like, but when someone you love is hurting, how do you support them without losing yourself? And this doesn't necessarily have to mean the recent incidents, doesn't have to, pertain to someone that you lost recently. It could just be overall, because grief never stops, right? Grief never stops. And I think that's a lot of the issues that not just the adults, but our youth face as well. They become numb, right, internally. But we know that it's due to them losing their peers. It's due to them losing their favorite artists. There's so many things that contribute to grief. And a lot of times people don't properly grieve. So I want to get into it. I want to talk about grief and how to properly, love someone during grief. So my question to you is, there's a couple of questions actually, Truth Nation, but I need some advice, man. And for those who are listening, I ask that, again, I don't want to make this a heavy topic today, but I feel the need in my spirit to speak about this because of the state that our city is in, and really the state that the country is in as well. But when someone you love is hurting, how do you support them during the grief without losing yourself? This is something that is personal to me. This is something that is hard for me. And I want to be as transparent as possible, because the conversations I've had with my family and friends the past couple of weeks pertaining to this topic, I had to do some self-accountability as well as them, because a lot of times when we're trying to love someone who is going through something, we become very subjective. And we don't do it intentionally. We do it because it's a defense mechanism, meaning that we're not trying to make it about us, but we're trying to figure out, where do we fit in? How can you help me help you? How can I love you during the most difficult time of your life, when I know that what I'm giving or my love may not be a priority right now, because it cannot change whatever it is that you're going through? And this is something that is a conversation that is needed with loved ones, with family, with friends, but especially the youth. My daughter, she lost her childhood friend. This was the first friend she ever had in school in K4. She lost her 2 days before her high school prom a couple of months ago. And they were supposed to graduate together. They were supposed to go to prom together. They were supposed to go to college together. And it's extremely difficult to navigate or help her navigate through her grief, because I don't have an explanation on what that looks like for her, right? One day she's up, one day she's down. It could be a smell, it could be a song, it could be a thought, it can be anything that triggers you and sets you off. And I want to have this conversation, because what I want us to do as a community and as a people is to learn how to deal with our pain. When we learn how to deal with our pain and the things that we don't talk about, we're less impulsive. We begin to make decisions that we understand the decisions that we make, right? And they're less aggressive. They're less painful. What do they say? Hurt people hurt people. So we have to have these conversations so that we can begin to heal and begin to understand that we're not responsible for tiptoeing around your triggers. We're not responsible. I'm not responsible to, I understand your triggers, but I can't tiptoe around them. We have to do the necessary work and take ourselves and pull ourselves back to make sure that we are grieving properly so that we don't spill our pain onto other people. And in that process, a lot of times our people, especially Black people, all we know is how to be subjective because we want to show up. When we love hard, and we want people to know that we are there for them. That if you don't have, I don't know about y'all, but that's how I am. If you don't have nobody, you got me. If you don't have nobody to talk to, if you don't have nobody to depend on, if you don't have anyone to listen to, understand that you have me. And again, a lot of times when we are dealing with people in relationships specifically, we can accidentally become a burden because we want to feel what they feel, but it's impossible. And we want them to feel what we feel. And we want our partners to know, like, hey, I don't understand fully what you're going through, but your pain is my pain. And because your pain is my pain, I'm hurting just as much as you. So I'm willing to set everything in my life to the side to ensure that I can show up for you in a way that you never had, or if you have had it, in a way that is unmatched, right? And again, that's us being humans. That's something that's natural. When you naturally care for someone, you want them to understand what that means and what that looks like. But we have to understand how to love people through their grief properly without making it about us, without making it a you show. To where it's like, and again, we're being transparent, right? Because a lot of times we do this. When someone we know losing somebody, or if it's somebody we know we lost, oh, that's so-and-so, this my cousin, this one, I know. And I look at it and a lot of people feel away, but really it's just an attachment. It's just a way for people to show love and to say, hey, I'm here. But we have to figure out a way to properly love people while they grieve and give them the right resources that they need so that we can have a better community. So again, we are talking, when someone you love is hurting, how do you support them without losing yourself? 833-212-1017. Milwaukee, our city is grieving on many different levels, and we have to have this conversation. Please call in today, 833-212-1017. When someone you love is hurting and dealing with grief, how do you support them without losing yourself? Do not touch that dial. We got to go to break. 101.7 The Truth.
At Milwaukee College Prep, we believe brilliance lives in every child. Here, students are challenged, supported, and celebrated every single day. With small class sizes, dedicated teachers, and a proven track record of academic excellence, MCP is helping Milwaukee kids reach their fullest potential. Enrollment is still open for grades K-3 through 8. Apply today. Give your child a school where they'll thrive. Visit mkeprep.com or call today. Milwaukee College Prep, brilliance lives here.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through my injuries, not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended. lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call 800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes, rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
.7 The Truth. It's your girl Jazz Tyler. Thank you all so much for tuning in with us today. Today we are talking about grief. When someone you love is hurting, how do you support them without losing yourself? This weekend I had an amazing experience in New Orleans. I went to Essence Festival, but most importantly, I went there to visit my sister, Zech Shakur. And as a board member of the Tupac and Marwa Shakur Foundation, I try to show up where I can, and I was pleased to attend an event we had surrounding mental health, and how we deal with that through arts and expressing ourselves. And one of the topics was grief. And as I came back home, I got hit with so many different things, and I couldn't help but notice online the amount of incidents that had taken place in just 48 hours. And one thing about me, when I see that my city is grieving and I see that my people is grieving, is something that I cannot ignore. I cannot walk around like, every day like, hey, nothing happened. No, and this isn't just the past 48 hours. Our city has been grieving for a long time, right? It seems like every day, every week, every month, every year, it gets worse and worse. And it's not just the adults. It's the babies, it's the youth who are grieving, and no one is dealing with it. And we're not talking about the cookie cutter solutions, right? Go get a therapist. Well, we know that, right? But people are actually losing loved ones. People are dealing with things that they don't want to discuss, and they don't know how to discuss it because everyone has become so numb. The world, the city, the things that we go through, it makes it hard for us to want to feel, because we've become accustomed to our loved ones passing away, or just grieving people who are no longer, a part of our lives, right? So again, I want to hear from you, 833-212-1017. When someone you love is hurting or grieving, how do you support them without losing yourself? And I want to talk specifically with relationships, and the relationship can be a friendship, it can be a relative, a family member, or your partner, right? I'm going to be subjective in this when I speak about this. A lot of times when us as a people, we lose people, or we know someone that we love who has lost someone, we become very subjective. And what I mean by that is we don't do it purposely, but we make it about us. We make it about, hey, know that I'm here. Whatever you need from me, we want this person that we love to understand how much we're there to support them. And sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming, right? When someone is grieving, they may not communicate the same way. They may not have the same energy. They may not be able to show affection the way that they did before, because they're going through something. And you have to be okay with allowing them to go through that and understand first and foremost that grief changes people. Okay? Grief changes people. There is no blueprint, no handbook, no solution. There is nothing that you can give somebody to make them get over it or to make them get through it in that moment. You just have to let the let the situation take course, right? What I do know in relationships, when you're dealing with people who are grieving, you love them a little differently, right? The way that I help my best friend when she lost her grandmother, the way I help her deal with her grief may be different than my partner or my man. The way I help him deal with whatever he's going through, that's different than the way I help my daughter deal with she's going through. Or if I have a friend who lost someone, the way I help them deal with whatever it is that they're going through. And one of the things that I have learned as someone who has lost someone and was in a state of grieving for a few years, and someone who has people who has lost loved ones, the first step is to be patient. And obviously that sounds very simple, very minute, something that is logical. We already know that, right? But when you really, really break down grief and you pair that with patience, that is grief. Grief is patience, which is why you have to have it. Because at any given moment, at any given time of the day, that person who is going through something can have a thought that causes a trigger. And then that alters their mood, that alters the way their outlook on life. Sometimes they may even want to give up, right? Their mood is going to fluctuate for however long, maybe forever, because grief is something that never ends. It never ends. It just gets better. So you have to be patient and you have to not be subjective and not make it about you and allow a person to go through whatever it is that they're going through. With the patience, you have to pair that with understanding. Because for me, for example, there's two people, significant people. There's more than two people, but I'll use these situations. When my aunt passed away, that was my second mother. That was the backbone of our family. That was the one who took care of everybody, the strongest woman I know. That grief was different than when my high school sweetheart passed away. And I had to understand that I needed to be loved differently by different people because it was two different types of love. So the patience, it allows you to analyze what you're dealing with. And then the understanding allows you to find the proper solution on how to love this person, your loved one whom is grieving. And for me, this is where the subjectiveness come in for me. Instantly, because I'm an empath, I feel everything that someone is, even if I don't know them, I feel it in my bones, in my spirit, in my heart, all of that. I feel it to my core. And there's no way that I can hide it or deny it, which makes it difficult for me to deal with people who don't understand that, because I am one of those people where it's like, I don't want the people around me to feel the pain that they're feeling. So I try my hardest to be there and show up in ways that they need me to. But when I think about it, I don't know if we ever can, because we're trying to fill a void that can never be filled. You're trying to show up. You're trying to overplay your part. You're trying to love on this person. You're trying to be there. You're trying to have patience. You're trying to have understanding because you want them to know how much you care. But the reality is the void that's gone can never be filled. So you first have to accept that and understand that and be understanding when it comes to whatever it is that they're going to go through. Some people need space. Some people, when they're grieving, they don't want to be bothered. And then there's other people who need that emotional support. So you need to identify, how does this person deal with their emotions? Are they someone who like to verbally express it, or are they someone that like to keep it in? And stay with me, right? Because there's a point in all of this. Again, it's not just people, the whole city is grieving. There's so much that's happening and so many people walking around here with heavy hearts. with no one to talk to and nothing to do, and we still haven't figured out a way to properly love on those who are losing people and who have lost people. Expecting less performance emotionally. A lot of times when someone is going through something, they don't have the emotion. They're not available emotionally because they're going through whatever it is that they're going through. One of the things that stuck out like a sore thumb to me when I was analyzing some stuff during my grieving moments was understanding quiet moments and allowing someone to sit in whatever it is that they're feeling without you or anybody else becoming a burden, right? You have to, we all know we all have lost someone we love or know someone who lost someone we love. And we have these moments where it feels like nobody around understands. And typically those are the moments where you go quiet. And for those who are not used to that type of communication, it could come off a little harsh. It could come off in a way where you feel like you're not needed or not wanted. But the most important thing you can do, again, is not make it about you. The most important thing you can do is let that person sit in whatever it is that they're feeling so that they can get through it. That's the best solution, just to get through it. You don't want to force them to get back to normal because there is no such thing as back to normal. When you lose someone you love, that's it. You can never get that back. You will never be normal. Life will never be the same. And sometimes when you're asking or you're doing certain things that you think help, it really don't. It really doesn't help. It really makes the situation worse because 9 times out of 10, if you have lost someone, you know that you don't want things to go back to normal without this person, right? You want it to go back to how it used to be, and it's impossible. So the worst thing you can do is try to force someone to get back into their regular routines. They have maybe tried to shift them into a new direction, but you don't want to force that up on them. That's not healthy for them. That's not healthy for the situation. You have to allow them to go through whatever it is that they go through. My sister lost her son. I know a lot of mothers. Sade Robinson, I worked with her mother. Mama Hamilton, Maria Hamilton. There's so many people that we've seen throughout here, so many resources, and dealing with certain situations. I've literally seen and talked to a lot of people who do the work when it comes to grief. And again, one of the things that's always brought up is understanding quiet moments and not forcing someone to try and go back to, quote unquote, whatever their normal life is. Today we are talking about grieving. When someone you love is hurting or grieving, how do you support them without losing yourself? 833-212-1017. Milwaukee, it's a lot of things happening in this city. My prayers go out to all of the people the past couple of weeks who have lost someone, no matter what way it was. But there's a lot that's happening, and I want us to talk about it. I want us to find solutions. I want us to pray. I want us to send, some prayers up, man. I remember back in the day, they used to have marches where they would pray for the city and conversations. And now it's all about the festivities and politicians. And, what about the people that need prayers? What about the people that need love and support? Our babies are becoming numb because their friends is dying left and right. There's children out here who are losing their parents, right? Yes, we want justice. Yes, we want assistance and therapy. But right now, we're dealing with grief. How do we deal with that? How do we love someone? How do we support them without losing ourselves in the moment? We got to go to break. Do not touch that dial. It's your girl, Jazz Tyler, 101.7 The Truth.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot fast and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com, with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
'Cause remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
The Truth. It's your girl Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct in the American Family Insurance Studio in the beautiful heart of downtown Milwaukee today. I was out of the state this past weekend visiting New Orleans, visiting my sister, attended an event for the Tupac Amaru Shakur Foundation as well as Essence Festival. And during the event with Pac's Foundation, we were talking about healing through arts, and one of the topics that came up was grief. And as I returned home, I seen within 48 hours, there were so many people who had lost a loved one, whether it was an accident, whether it was violence, whatever it is. And as someone who has been in this community for quite some time and doing the work and working with people who has lost loved ones, the first thing I get sick and tired of is that people capitalize off of these situations, the elected officials, the ambulance chasers, all of the above. And then we come with these cookie cutter solutions like, oh, we just need therapy. Well, we all need therapy, whether we lost somebody or not. We're all messed up somehow, some way, right? But one of the things that people don't typically talk about is grief. Everybody walking around Milwaukee is grieving right now. They are grieving, especially these babies. So while we're sitting here bashing them the way, so for example, the things that you seen at Summerfest this past weekend, there was some situations with some youth who were fighting. A lot of that was pertaining to something with their friends who's not even here anymore. You understand what I'm saying? Grief. We have people walking around this city with a heavy heart, dealing with stuff, triggers, and they are not able to express it. They're not able to talk about it. They don't want to go to therapy. They don't want to do anything, right? They have a void that could never be filled. And we don't know where to start. We don't know how to help them. One of the things we can do is begin to have these conversations. How do we love one another when we're grieving? A lot of times people don't want to be dealt with. They don't want to talk. They don't want to be bothered. And then you have people who need the love, who need the support. But where do we start? What is the solution? What is the beginning? How do you love upon someone who feels like they have nothing left? How do you love someone who feels like whatever it is that they're going through, nobody on earth can understand, even if someone else has been through a similar situation? Can you imagine the amount of people who walk around every day with these thoughts of people, loved ones that they lost, and how it alters their mood, it alters their interaction, it alters their thought process, it alters their determination, it alters whether or not they want to. Some people don't even know if they want to be here anymore. And then we just go about our everyday life like nothing happens, like, oh, you know, it is what it is. I got too much on my plate. I have to listen. Everybody is grieving. We are all grieving. And we are not in a state or a city that allows us to be vulnerable about this. We're in a city where everybody is becoming numb to what's going on and what's happening. It's just an everyday thing. And then after so many weeks and months, what do? You go back to your normal life. But the person who lost that loved one does not. There is no normal for them. There is no way for them to go back to do what they used to do because their life has changed significantly. And now there's a void that could never be filled, and there's no one who can fill that void. Now they're on edge. Now anything you do or say is going to tick them off or make them feel a way, and they become impulsive. How do we love someone like that? How do we show them that we are here? Now, before we went to break, we were talking specifically relationships, not just intimate relationships with your partner, but friendships, family, all of that. You know, do you give space, or are you creating distance when you step back? I know for me, a lot of times, because I don't want to come off as subjective when there is someone other than my children. When my children, they both have lost, two of my children had lost friends at the age of, my son was 15 the first time he lost one of his friends. And then he lost another one at 16. My daughter lost a friend at 17, right? This year, a couple of months ago. And with them, it's different. I treat them different. I show up for them differently than a family member, my best friend, or, you know, my partner, right? Me, outside of my children, I distance myself because I never want to feel like I'm being overwhelming because I know how I am. I want that person to know that I'm there, that whatever it is I can do, I'm going to show up. But is that considered overplaying your role? Right? A lot of times we do that. A lot of times we overplay our role. And I don't mean in the sense of where you're making a fool out of yourself, but more so just by making it about you, by being subjective when it's not about you. So do you give space and create distance, or do you just, what is it that you do? What works, right? How do you get out of your own mind so that you can allow yourself to show up for the person who is going through whatever it is that they're going through? And sometimes this is a very touchy situation for me, topic for me, and situation, because a lot of times we know what to say until we don't know what to say. A lot of times when we are dealing with people who are losing loved ones left and right, we don't know how to show up, right? We don't know what to do. And it becomes difficult to maintain that relationship because it's easy for a person who's going through something to say, you wasn't there for me. Have you ever been in a situation where someone lost a loved one and they felt like you didn't show up for them the way that you needed to? This is where the patience and the understanding comes in, because you can easily have a rebuttal and say, well, you didn't tell me what you need. Well, why do I got to tell you what I need? You should already know. A lot of times when people are grieving and dealing with stuff, they don't even want to be bothered. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. But as someone who has been through this process, you automatically assume that the person on the other end just knows. They're supposed to know how to show up for you. And that's not all the way true, but that's what's inside your mind. That's what you think. And then you go through this situation where it was like, man, you wasn't there for me the way I needed to. Well, that's because we never been taught on how to love someone through grief. I take steps back. I take steps back because I want this person to sit through whatever it is that they're going through, to feel it, to understand it, so that whatever it is that they need, then I can show up for them, right? We have to be mindful. We have to be mindful. And this topic is so, again, it's broad and it may seem like it's small, but when you're dealing with the masses of people who are walking around in a mind frame where they are not stable, think about a time. Again, I'm not trying to make you feel away, but I need you to understand what I'm saying. Think about the time when you lost someone you love and you did not know how you was going to move through it. You didn't understand why it happened, and you didn't understand how you were going to get through it. That pain. Now multiply that by 100,000. That's how many people are walking around this city with grief. Some treated and some not treated. Their mental state, their emotional state is not top tier. They don't know how to communicate. They become numb. They don't understand what's happening or why it's happening. And they are expected to walk around and go back to their everyday life. That job you love so much, when you lose somebody, they don't care. And if you don't show up, they're going to replace you. Your friends, your family, they may be there during that time. But guess what? After the funeral, it gets quiet. A couple of weeks, a couple of months afterwards, nobody's blowing your phone up. Nobody's texting to check up on you. And this is stuff that you have to deal with emotionally. These are things that you have to go through on your own, and you're expected to just go back to your everyday life. You're expected for people to, walk around your triggers because you have not been told how you should be loved while you're grieving, and we have not been taught properly how to love when someone else is grieving. And our city right now is in a state of grief. I want to hear from you. 833-212-1017. How do you love someone and support someone that is grieving without losing yourself? Right? How do we get them to understand that we're here without overplaying our parts? We got to go to break. Do not touch that dial. It's your girl, Jazz Tyler, 101.7 The Truth.
Milwaukee business owners, this is your moment. Every Friday at 8 a.m., call in to 101.7 The Truth for What the Business Is. Tell us what your business is, where you're located, and one thing you've learned along the way. What the Business is powered by We Energies, delivering the energy that powers local business. Fridays at 8 a.m. on 101.7 The Truth. Fridays at 8 a.m. on 101.7 The Truth.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a united way. Improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to health care and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope. United is the way. Visit unitedway.org.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good. My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Milwaukee Black Talk on 101.7 FM.
The Truth.
And 1510 AM. W269DL. Milwaukee. A Milwaukee Black media company.
.7 The Truth. It's your girl Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct. Get ready, Milwaukee. 101.7 The Truth Family Fest is back. Join us Saturday, August 22nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Riverside University High School for free back-to-school resources, live entertainment, family activities, and community fun. Vendors and sponsors can reserve a spot by emailing Sierra, CIERRA.brown@MilwaukeeBlackMedia.com. Proudly sponsored by Educators Credit Union and American Family Insurance. Milwaukee, thank y'all so much for tapping in with me today. We are having a serious conversation. As I was traveling this weekend, I've seen so many things happening around the city the past 48 hours, not just this weekend, but just recently this year. It seems like we have been getting hit back to back with losing people, losing loved ones. No matter in what way, it just seemed like it's happening more than normal. And I feel like our city is in a state of grief. How they say it's a state of emergency. This is a state of emergency because with grief, there's impulsive reactions. There's decisions being made, not even just with the adults, but with the youth as well, which is why a lot of times we see them acting out. And a lot of people are walking around the city with heavy hearts and just a heaviness in their soul and spirit because they don't understand what they're feeling. And we have not been properly taught how to love through our grief, right? Before we went to break, we were talking about relationships, whether it's your partner, friendships, family, but just figuring out a way to grow through the grief and figuring out a way to show up without being subjective. And the question that I asked was, have you ever had a situation where you loved someone and they felt like you did not show up for them the way you needed to while they were going through whatever it is that they were going through? And it's not because you didn't, it's just because they automatically assume you're supposed to know. And subconsciously you feel like, hey, I just need to take a step back to give them space, right? So again, we don't want to tiptoe around triggers, but we also want people to deal with whatever it is that they're dealing with and sit in whatever it is that they're sitting in emotion-wise so that we can properly be there for them and show up for them the way that we need to. But the question that I pose to you this hour is, how do you grow through grief in your relationships, right? How hard or easy is it for you to become vulnerable when you lose a loved one, whether it's with your partner, whether it's with your friends or relatives? And I know it's case-by-case situation because some people, they don't want to be bothered, right? And some people do. When we first started talking about this, we were talking about some of the things that from the receiving end. When we are dealing with people who lose someone, we have to be patient. We have to be understanding. We have to know that their mood is going to change. We have to know that the communication may change from time to time. We have to know that we're not a priority. We have to understand that their feelings is a priority. We also have to understand that grief is not temporary. Grief is something that people go through for the rest of their lives, and we can never, ever try to force them to live, quote unquote, to go back to living a normal life. Because the day that that person they love left, their life became abnormal. And the greatest insult you can do or say to someone is, let's get you closer back to your day-to-day. No, it's already enough reality around us, from our work to bills to everything, that remind us that we can never ever just have a moment to deal with whatever it is that we're dealing with. But when we're talking partnerships and friendships, how do you grow, specifically relationships? How do you grow through your grief? Especially if it's a new relationship or if you're dating someone. How do you show up for them without overplaying your part? How do you show up for them without being a burden? How do you show up for them without being subjective and making it about you? Because oftentimes, if you catch yourself and think about a situation similar to what I'm speaking to, you will notice that you will say, I just want to be there for you. I just want to love you. I just want to help you. I'm here, right? Everything I just said is subjective. Everything I just said is about me, what I want to do, what I'm feeling. And sometimes that's not always the answer. Not just because people hear that oftentimes, but we cannot make it about us. We cannot make it about how we're feeling to try and help that person fill a void that will never be filled in their life again. So how do we grow through the grief with the people that we love? How do we give them patience, understanding, emotional maturity, compassion, vulnerability, all of the above? How do we do this when we don't even know what they're feeling? Like, we have an idea, but we can never understand it because it's not the same. This is something that's difficult. This is something that can end friendships. This is something that can end relationships. This is something that can make relationships grow or friendships grow as well. It just depends on how you look at it. But either way, I know that no one has, well, at least for me, these are topics that we don't typically talk about. How do we grow through grief? Even if it's not pertaining to relationships, just the city overall. When you step back and look at the amount of people that's currently grieving in this city, I guarantee you, if you go on social media or you follow some of these pages, these crime report pages from Milwaukee, you're going to know somebody, or you're going to know somebody that knows somebody who keep losing people that they love. And this is not something that just happened this past 48 hours, but when you look back at the entire year, it has been happening at a rapid rate. And all we do as a people, not all of us, but majority of us, we go back to, we self-medicate, we party, right? We tell stories, we do everything but deal with the grief. And then there's stages where people become upset. No one is sitting down saying, hey, I understand that you're grieving. I don't understand what you're feeling, but I understand what you're going through. This is what we should be doing. This is, whatever it is, whatever the conversation is not had. All it is memories to keep reliving the same pain. It's never conversations about how to get through the grief. And again, grief is not something that goes away. Grief is something that stays. So, Truth Nation, 833-212-1017. I want y'all to tell me, what is some ways you can love someone while they're going through grief, while they're grieving? What is some ways you can offer assistance without losing yourself or making it about yourself? How do you grow through grief? Not the typical, baby, I'm there for you, I'm here, or to your best friend, sis, I got you. We know this already, or they know this already. But what is some real solutions on how to get through this? And when we're talking in an objective manner, as far as the city, how do we love up on these babies? These babies are out here wilding because they losing their people left and right too. And they don't understand what they're feeling. They're just angry. They don't know how to deal with, they don't have the emotional maturity to deal with whatever it is that they're dealing with. And then they too are expected to go back to their everyday life, right? Working inside of a school, I see it all the time. You have youth who, loses friends left and right. One of their friends may have died, and then they may get a day But more than likely, they're not going to get a day off unless their parents say so. And that can only last so long before they get a truancy letter in the mail. But they have to go right back into the same building with that person that they're used to seeing every day who is no longer there, only for the staff to send out an email to the staff and tell them to treat the students with self-care or to treat them a certain way with care because they just lost someone. Guess what? They don't want to sit there in a class 7 hours a day after they just lost their friend and they're in the same building that their friend was just in. They don't want to walk. I wouldn't even want to be in the same space as someone who I considered a friend or a best friend or a classmate who lost their life. And I have to walk around this building like it didn't just happen. For the adults, you got to go back to work. And if you don't, they're going to replace you. So the last thing we want to do is tell someone, is force them into their normal life. No, that's not normal. And what is the proper protocol? Then we sit here and complain when we see the summertime come and they out here acting a fool. Or what y'all consider as acting a fool, but to me it's acting out. They're fighting. They are fighting. They are online having beefs, all types of stuff because they are grieving. And no, this is not for, because I know it's going to be one caller or somebody in the chat that say, not every one of them. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the students and the youth who consistently lose people. They have been losing their peers. And they're expected to go back to living their day-to-day lives. What is the protocol? What is the solution? Because everything that we see is nothing but built up pain and anger. They don't want to talk to nobody. They don't want to be told what to do. They have, and to my point earlier about them becoming numb. Well, what else would you do? If your wife or husband passed away and you have to go back home and sleep in the same bed, eat at the same table, use the same bathroom, drive the same car. What else are you supposed to do other than sit in misery? Eventually, you're going to become numb too. And that's what's happening with the babies. They're becoming numb to violence. They're becoming numb to their friends dying. They're becoming numb to every single thing that we put on their table because we are forcing them to go back to, quote unquote, a normal life that will never be normal again. And the only thing they know how to do is to act out. The only thing they know how to do is fight because they're so angry. I lost a friend at 15. I lost a friend at 19. And all I did was fight. All I was angry. All I wanted to do was just make other people feel how I felt because I could not fill that void. These are core issues that we're talking about. Grief. When you see people out here be so quick to pop off or they got a short fuse, have some understanding. You never know what this person is going through. They could have lost a loved one recently. They could be grieving somebody that didn't pass away, but that's no longer a part of their life. But I guarantee you, a part of our issues in the community, specifically in Milwaukee, when it comes to the state we're in and why people are responding and acting the way that they're acting is because they are grieving. They are going through something inside that they feel like nobody else understands. And everybody walk around here like it doesn't matter. You have people that's like, hey, I lost somebody too. Okay. Your grief ain't my grief though. Let's talk about it. 833-212-1017. We got to go to break. Do not touch that dial. 101.7 The Truth.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
The Truth. This your girl Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct at the American Family Insurance Studio in the beautiful heart of downtown Milwaukee. Listen, I was out of the city this weekend and I attended an event with the Tupac Amaru Shakur Foundation where we were talking about grief and healing through arts. And I noticed that there was so many things happening within 48 hours of people losing loved ones. And it's not just this past weekend, but it's really been the entire year thus far. And we're obviously used to, things happening in the city of Milwaukee, but the rate that is happening at, and it's not just for a specific age group, has me thinking about how we're dealing with grief, not just individually, but as a community, especially when it comes to our babies. How are we properly dealing with grief? And especially during the systems being set in place not to help us during the process, right? And what I mean by that is before we went to break, I was giving an example about the students, a lot of the youth. And again, this is not all of the youth, but a lot of youth are losing their loved ones and their peers. They're losing parents. They're losing friends. They're losing teachers. They're losing important people in their lives. And they don't know how to deal with it. All I know is that they're angry. And what they feel inside, they have to get out some way. So what do? They resort to fighting. They resort to arguing. They resort to social media beefs. They resort to all of the above. And I don't know if we necessarily have the answer or the solution. But what I do know is that our city is grieving right now. And when you understand this, yes, we all are grieving because we all lost someone before. But when you become subjective in this ideology, right? When you sit down and think about how you felt in the moment you lost someone you love, how long it took for you to get to the point where you could function, not go back to a normal life because your life will never be normal. But when you put yourself back in that space about how you felt, especially if it's someone who is extremely close to you, remember how you felt in that moment. Sometimes you want to be bothered, sometimes you don't. Your moods are up and down. You're angry. You're mad at the entire world. That's exactly what everybody running around here is going through, especially the youth. These are the things that we're dealing with. And one of the questions I posed was, how do we love people who are hurting without losing ourselves? How do we help them deal with whatever it is that they're dealing with without making it about us, without becoming subjective, but showing up for them in a way where they need us, right? Because oftentimes there is people who go through things and they may feel like you didn't show up for them the way that you needed to. There's people who go through things and they just don't want to be bothered, and they're set in whatever happens with life after that, they're okay, not realizing that they're affecting someone else and their emotions also. And then there are some people who overplay their part, right? They want to work so hard at trying to fill the void because they love that person and they don't want them to lose themselves, but that doesn't work. We have to learn how to grow through grief in a healthy manner. We have to be human and understand that patience and understanding is the key to it all. When you understand that patience is grief because it never ends, then you'll have better understanding with dealing with that person. Their moods is going to go up and down. Some days they're hot, some days they're cold. Sometimes they want to talk about it, and sometimes they don't want to talk about it. But whatever it is that they're dealing with, that should not dictate how you feel towards them. Because what they're going through is something that you haven't been through. You may have been through a similar situation, but you have not been through that same exact situation. We have a caller on the line. Brother Love, are you there?
Yes. Hello, how you doing today, Jazz?
I'm doing good. How are you? Thank you so much for tapping in with us.
I'm feeling real good. Yes, and I'm just now tuning in. Could you explain that question, because I agree with you, and I don't want to play on your top and act like I know. I'm coming to the same conclusion too, that we're in a state. The city is in a state of grief. And I agree. And could you explain that question to me one more time?
Yeah, so the question was, how do we love people who are hurting without making it about ourselves? So when you have someone who is dealing with grief, right? And it's different because some people, they want to be bothered, and some people, they don't want to be bothered. But oftentimes the person who is on the other end, what we tend to do is become subjective subconsciously. So we begin to make it about us. I want you to feel better. I am here. We try to fill a void that can never be filled. And the question is, how do we love someone through that without being subjective?
I'm struggling to find the answer to that, and that's true. If I knew that, I'd be a millionaire tomorrow. And I like to say this too, that when my mother passed in 2007, I was so hurt. But I felt all her love and goodness come back into me over the phone when my sister told me, like, Mom passed, and right at that moment I felt all her love come back into me. So that was able to keep me strong through it. But I want to say this though, you're doing a good job, and I say, we're in a state of emergency, and the whole city is grieving. And I'm gonna keep on listening and try to come up with some and just try to come together on this issue.
Absolutely. Thank
God
you
bless
so
you.
much. You as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for tapping in with us, Brother Love. Shout out to the chat. Shout out to all of the listeners today. I was explaining for those who are joining us, I was going this weekend to New Orleans, and as I was going, I was paying attention to social media, and I seen that there have been so many different things happening with people losing loved ones throughout the entire 48 to 72 hours. And although this has been happening, and it always happens, I just noticed that since January of this year, it's been happening at a rapid rate. And a lot of our people are in a state of grief, including the youth. And it's coming out in different forms, and everyone is blaming it on the same thing. They're blaming it on parenting. They're blaming it on senseless drive. They're blaming it on so much. But one of the things that we often do not talk about is grief. And the fact that so many people are grieving, so many people are walking around with heavy hearts and a heavy, heavy mental, so much to the point where if they don't have the right support system around them, they don't know how to deal with it. And then it's going to show up in ways that you see here today, which is chaos and confusion. It's going to show up with the short temper. It's going to show up with reckless driving. It's going to show up with fighting. It's going to show up with violence. It's going to show up in so many different ways. And there is no cookie cutter blueprint to give them to help them through this. So we have to do it ourselves. We have to figure out a way ourselves on how to be more understanding when it comes to being a person who is trying to love someone who may be grieving. And then also how to accept the love and grow through the grief as well. We got to go to break. Do not touch that dial. We are talking grief. I want to hear from you, 833-212-1017. It's your girl, Jazz Tyler.
Freedom has a history. Come experience it. Visit the Milton House Museum, Wisconsin's only certified Underground Railroad site open to the public. Tour the historic 1844 Inn, step down into the cellar, and walk through the underground tunnel in the footsteps of freedom seekers who risked everything on their journey to liberty. Hear powerful stories of courage, sacrifice, hope, and determination, and discover Wisconsin's connection to the Underground Railroad and the fight for freedom. Guided tours of the Milton House are available Tuesday through Sunday through Labor Day weekend. Learn more at miltonhouse.org.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through my injuries, not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message. Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call 800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
101.7 The Truth. It's your girl, Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct at the American Family Insurance Studio in the beautiful heart of downtown Milwaukee. Looking to discover and support local businesses in our community? Then make sure you tune in every Friday at 8 a.m. to Truth in the Morning with Homer Blow and Bailey Coleman for What the Business Is, powered by We Energies. Each week, you'll hear from the local business owners as they share what their business is, where they are located, and one valuable lesson they've learned along the way. We Energies is proud to help power local businesses in the communities they serve. Don't miss What the Business Is every Friday at 8 a.m. only on Truth in the Morning with Homer Blow and Bailey Coleman, powered by We Energies, delivering the energy that powers local businesses. Milwaukee, we are talking grief. Again, when we sit back and we look at it, we understand that our city consistently goes through things, right? Whether it's violence, whether it's illnesses, whatever it is, we consistently lose people. But I've just been noticing since January of this year, it has been happening at such a rapid rate. And one of the things that we keep talking about is reckless driving and violence and guns and all of those things. But we're not talking about the core issue. And one of those core issues is grief. One of those core issues is that our babies, our friends, all of us, we are walking around here with heavy hearts every single day. I have lived in multiple states, and I was talking to my sis Zech about a year ago, and she asked me, what am I running from? Why do I keep leaving home? What is it about home that keeps making me not want to be here? And I never thought about it like that until we start talking about grief, right? And that's exactly what used to make it hard for me to want to live in Milwaukee, because I felt like it was the environment that made me sick. And it's hard to heal in the environment that makes you sick. Wherever you go, there's certain streets I turn down. There's certain stores I walk into. There's certain songs. There's certain people I see that makes it difficult for me to move on from certain situations, whether it's good or bad, because it's a memory, it's a thought, or it's a trigger. And it all has something to do with grief. Not just grieving people who are no longer with us, but sometimes you grieve people who are no longer a part of your life. Old friends you had to cut off. Family members that you don't see on holidays no more. There is grief in so many different forms. And we all are walking around grieving with no outlet and no way to say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. I don't really understand what I'm feeling. I don't even necessarily know if I'll ever stop feeling what I'm feeling. But what I do know is that it's there. And what makes it even more difficult is our babies, our youth. Like I said earlier, they're losing their friends left and right. Imagine losing your friends left and right. Imagine not having a system set up for you to succeed. Imagine going to school and having to sit in the same classroom where that friend no longer is every day, and the only thing that you get is an email from a teacher telling another teacher to handle you with care. Imagine losing someone you love, and then you only got 3 days of PTO and you still got to go back to work. When do we ever have time to really sit in what we are feeling without any distractions? We don't. We never have time to deal with what we're dealing with, which is why we're so short fused, which is why everybody walks around on edge. There's some people I lost that pain would never go away. And I walk around with a smile, but every day I can hear a song, I can smell something, ride down a certain street, and a thought and a memory pops up. And I'm expected to ignore that, which then makes me what? Numb. Everyone is walking around here grieving. We're in a state of grief. That's the state of emergency, right? The state of emergency right now in Milwaukee is grief. We're grieving. All of the press conferences, where's the prayers? Where's the marches with the prayers? Where's the pastors? I don't care what your religion is. Where are you? Why are you not gathering the youth and praying over them? Why are you not showing up to people's houses and praying over them? Why do we have to come to your establishment or your venue? Why do we have to pay tithes and offerings, but we can't call on you unless we make an appointment? Where is the community? Where is the community in a state of grief? Do we run to our local politicians for everything? Do we run to social media for everything? How are we dealing with this? And don't come to me talking about no therapist. Because half of the time, they not even paying attention to what you're talking about. They're there to get a check. And 9 times out of 10, the people who are dealing with this a specific demographic don't even have the insurance to get a therapist. And even if they did, they don't trust the system. So what is the solution? How are we loving people and dealing with people when we are constantly losing them left and right? Y'all want us to just, the only thing we know how to do is drink, smoke, listen to music, talk about memories, talk about the what if, the woulda, coulda, shoulda. Let's not forget retaliation. Let's not forget fighting, right? These are ways that we express it, but no one is talking about it. The next time you're around a situation or someone you love who is dealing with this or something happens, have this conversation, man. Have this conversation. How are you dealing with your grief? Don't make it subjective to where it's about you. Ask them, how are you dealing with your grief? Do you have the support system and the proper things you need in order to properly deal with whatever it is that you're going through? It's important because if you don't have these conversations, then what? You're going to continue to see everything that you're seeing now. Everything that you're seeing now. Grief is not anything that can go away temporarily, right? Grief is not anything that you could just get over on your own. Grief is something that will stay with you forever. So let's talk about the grief. Let's think about the grief of losing someone. But let's also think about the grief of letting go of someone who hasn't even passed away. Because we still grieve over situations. We grieve over not going to big grandmama's house for the holidays because when grandmama died, the whole family fell apart. We grieve over best friends that we knew since we was kids who switched up on you, and now when you see them, they your enemy. There's so many different ways to grieve. And then we're still expected to deal with oppression. We're still expected to deal with inflation. We're still expected to deal with going back to a quote unquote normal life. All while trying to deal with everything that we're dealing with on the inside without the proper resources or people actually caring about what's happening. Grief is something, again, that never goes away. And I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I promise you, if you sit back and put yourself in that place and think about where you were mentally, and then think about the people that's walking around here, but also think about their ages, the demographic, where they live, where they're from. Everybody wasn't taught what you're taught. Everybody didn't grow up how you grew up. People deal with grief differently. Some people want to retaliate. Some people want to drink themselves to death or smoke themselves to death. Y'all think they out here getting high just to get high? They grieving. People ain't out here acting a fool and substance abuse just because they're going through something. They're dealing with a mental breakdown. Every single day, they're reliving something in their mind. They are grieving. Grief goes back to gun violence. Grief goes back to substance abuse, being an alcoholic. Grief goes back to all of it. Everything. It goes back to someone trying to escape their reality, that someone they love is no longer here or something happened to them. This is what we're dealing with. And now I'm going to be honest, I don't like the state that we're in when it comes to the chaos and confusion, especially with the youth. But guess what? It's necessary. Because if it didn't happen, we would not be having these conversations. If it didn't happen, we would not see in real time how this looks. So guess what? In real time, we're going to talk to some guests. Not nobody that we got on a list. Not nobody that's popular. We're going to talk to an everyday person who deals with this and have a conversation with them so that y'all can understand how real this is. If you don't believe me. If you don't know nothing, you going to learn. I'm going to learn you something today. I'm going to learn you something today. And I hope that you begin to have these conversations with people outside of your circle. Don't keep having these conversations with people who you're comfortable with. Don't keep having these conversations with people that you know. Have these conversations with someone that you don't know so that you can have a different perspective on life. All right? We're going to get into it. 833-212-1017. We got to go to break. Do not touch that dial. It's your girl, Jazz Tyler.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jackamick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jackamick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot fast and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
'Cause remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
101.7 The Truth. It's your girl, Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct. Truth Nation, today we are talking about grief. How do you love someone when they are going through something without losing yourself? Earlier, I was talking about how subjective we become when we are dealing with people who are grieving. I want you to do better. I feel like I can be there for you. I. And we do it because we want to fill a void, not realizing that that's not helpful. We have to be understanding. We have to be patient. And we also have to understand that just as Black people in general, we all walking around here grieving. We all are walking around here dealing with things that we don't talk to people about. And we're expected to go back to our everyday lives. And no one wants to talk about it. So today we're talking about it. And we got some guests in the building. Shout out to Mech, man. Mech was out there in the 3rd Street Market Hall. He was like, I got some people out. I was like, bring them in. Yeah, because we're having a real conversation. We want to talk about this in real time with real people, not the fancy stuff, not the people that, you know, the celebrity. No, people right here from the crib who understand it firsthand. We got some special guests in the building. Y'all want to introduce yourselves?
Hey, I'm Naya.
Hey, I'm Seven.
Well, my name Maury.
All right. So, first question is, well, first and foremost, thank y'all for being willing just to come in and talk to us about this. I want y'all to know that it's actually really important to us to have these conversations because we don't get to hear from the masses of the people, don't get to hear from everyday people from the crib who's dealing with this, right? So I want y'all to take the time to understand that whatever y'all say is going to impact those listening. And I want y'all to be as transparent as possible so people can truly understand. And then when you start, can you mention your age as well? But my question, my first question is, how do you deal with grief?
Hey, I'm Naya. I'm 25. I would have to say I isolate myself from everything. I don't talk about what I got through. I keep it all in, which I know is not good, but that's just how I like really cope with everything. I'll cry about it, and then once I'm done crying, I feel like I'm okay, but I don't really like talk about it.
So do you find that I'm one of those people too? I've learned to talk about it to people that I trust, but do you find that when you hold it inside that eventually you blow up? Like it's something or someone that does something one day, you may be in a mood and then it just sets you off.
Yeah, and then that's just, it make you blow up and everything come out.
Yeah. So how do you deal with people who, when you're going through something or you're grieving, how do you deal with people who are trying to be there for you?
I let people be there for me. I don't really like push them away because that's really what I want. Like I want people around me that want to be there for me and, you know, talk to me about what I'm going through to see how I feel. Like I want them type of people around me. So when they try to like come around, it's like I accept that, like,
yeah,
it's fine to me.
Yeah. 7, how old are you and how do you deal with grief?
Hey, y'all. My name's Seven. I'm 27. And I'm not going to lie. Grief wasn't really something that I deal with until not too long ago when I lost my dad. I don't know. I just know that you can't tell yourself it's going to be okay because it's not.
Yes.
So, I just take it day by day. It ain't easy, but you wake up every day, you still here, so you still got to do your daily stuff that you was doing before that tragic happened. It just make me wish I had more time, but I don't really think about it too much because it's real fresh, but I know people be like, oh, it's going to be okay in due time. Nah.
It's not.
It's not.
Yeah.
That, it ain't going to never. So don't let nobody tell you because it ain't going to never get better, bro. Never.
I'm sorry that you lost your dad, and thank you for sharing that with us. Because it is fresh, how do you deal with it? Like, I know you said that you try not to think about it, but do you think that's necessarily the best way to deal with it?
No, but it's still unreal, so I don't too much think about it.
Yeah. I understand. How old are you?
I'm 19.
What's your name?
Maury.
Okay, Mari. I have a 19-year-old son, and I have a 18-year-old daughter too. And one of the things that before you guys came in, I was talking about, my daughter lost her best friend 2 days before prom, in a car crash. It's the first friend she ever had. My son, at your age, lost 2 of his friends at 15 and 16. And I had to tell them that that's not normal for y'all age group specifically to deal with the amount of death that y'all deal with. Do you feel like your generation is becoming numb to the situation? And do you feel like this is part of the reason why you guys are, not you specifically, but just the masses, like why a lot of y'all are angry inside?
Yeah, I would say I done lost a couple of friends. I lost my dad too not too long ago. So yeah, I didn't became numb to it. It just feel like something that I know gonna happen or gotta happen.
So is it numbness or is it acceptance?
It's just like it's both. It's like you get numb to it, and then eventually you just start accepting it. Like it is what it is, what it's gonna be, basically.
So how do y'all have conversations with each other? Like, do y'all have it? Like, so what I mean by that is, I know Black people in particular, what we do is we play spades, dominoes, we smoke, we drink, we kick it, and then we talk about memories, right? But we never ever talk about how we getting through the grief. Like, what are you doing to get through the grief? How do you begin to have these conversations with people your age?
I don't really be having a conversation with people my age. I just really be talking to her, cause
That's your sister,
cousin.
Okay.
Yep. So we got the same thing going on. So we just smoke, do whatever, and then just keep going.
But y'all do have a support system, so that's good. Y'all have each other. Yeah. Brooklyn, how old are you?
I'm 16.
16. Okay, so have you experienced, or do you have any friends who experience losing a friend while still having to be in school?
Not really. Like, my friends never told me that they've lost a friend while in school or any of that, so I wouldn't.
Come up to the mic a little closer.
I really wouldn't know.
Okay, so for your generation, and I know y'all kind of are in a similar generation, I'm a teacher by day. I teach music at Howard Fuller. And I also used to work at MAS. And I've seen a lot of students from those schools pass away. And a lot of students your age have to go back to school the next day in the same building where their friends was, right? What advice do you have for someone who is 16, where that may be their situation, on how to deal with the grief?
I would just say take it day by day. Talk to your friends, because they're always going to be there for you. And you're always going to have support from your friends, because they're really the ones that are always beside you. That's all I got to say.
Yes. Outside of that, I know y'all been watching on the news and social media, like just all of the stuff that's happening throughout the city of Milwaukee. What is y'all take on that? The fights at Summerfest with the youth. Just, I know a lot of people like to blame it on the parents and all of that kind of stuff. But as a parent, I know that that's not always the case. I also know that a lot of these kids are hurting. And it don't necessarily mean they have to lose a loved one from violence. It could be, like you guys said, parents, all of that. But why do y'all think our city is in like a state of emergency right now?
I just feel like a lot of kids, what's the word they like to use? Lace. No. But
No. That's, yeah.
For real, I just feel like a lot of kids lost. A lot of kids ain't got guidance. They ain't got nobody that they feel like they safe enough to go talk to about their problems. These YNs, they feel like they ain't got nobody they can go cry to. It's a number of things. Like, a lot of kids, like here in the city, we've been losing people since we could remember. So a lot of kids been dealing with grief. A lot of them ain't dealt with grief. So it's just a number of things that could be the reason, I feel like, but it don't give y'all the okay to go and mess up y'all city. And I don't understand why they feel like, all right, Summerfest, let's meet up here, let's do this. All right, State Fair, let's do this. Because if you ask me, in the next 5 years, it ain't going to be nothing to do. So it's just like y'all messing up what y'all got just to go do crazy stuff. Like, I don't be understanding. I get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? People beef, they do what they do. These young kids be talking crazy. They go make diss songs. I get it. I understand. But y'all got to understand, there's people that actually want to enjoy the events. Example, Juneteenth. So, like, I don't get why y'all go down there and just show y'all behind. I don't get it, because that's something that y'all should be able to go and enjoy, and that's something for us that y'all messing up. But
Absolutely.
y'all ain't got no knowledge for that because y'all want to be outside.
Absolutely. You want us to touch on it?
I don't really got too much to say about it. I don't know. It's a lot going on. Can't really say nothing. Like,
Yeah. One of the things, one of what you said, laced, right? Yeah. Like, no. In all seriousness, I think that is a part of a lot of these youth are laced with something for real. And we seen it in real time. And everybody think they just psychotic. It's like, no, something is going on up there mentally. There's a delay. And it's coming from drugs. It's coming from the vapes, the K2, whatever it is that they smoking and doing and they're involved in. Is coming from that. And that stems from them trying to escape from whatever it is that they're trying to escape from mentally as well. We are talking about grief today. We want to hear from you, 833-212-1017. We got to go to commercial break. Do not touch that dial. 101.7 The Truth.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day, when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at mda75.org.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome. Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a united way. Improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to healthcare and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope. United is the way. Visit unitedway.org.
Are people around me safe when I vape? Science does not support that belief. Exhaled vape emissions linger in the air, affecting indoor air quality and bystanders in the same space through secondhand exposure. Vaping emissions can also accumulate on clothes, hair, dust, and furniture, leading to exposure risks to bystanders of all ages. And vaping around a pregnant person can lead to serious health impacts on fetal and childhood development. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through my injuries, not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
Milwaukee Black Talk lives here on 101.7 FM and 1510 AM, W269DL Milwaukee, a Milwaukee Black media company.
One on 1.7 The Truth. It's your girl, Jazz Tyler. American Family Insurance is a proud sponsor of The Truth. Since 1927, they've been committed to helping families protect what matters most with the right home and auto coverage built around your life. Because when you work hard to build something you want to protect, that works just as hard for you. That peace of mind means you are free to focus on your goals, your family, and the dreams you are chasing. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. American Family Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin. Truth Nation, we are talking grief today. We want to hear from you, 833-212-1017. How do you love someone who is going through something without losing yourself? We have The Town on the line, and he has a question. Thank you so much for tapping in with us today. How are you?
What's going on, Queen?
Peace. Thank you so much for tapping in. You had a question for us?
Yeah, man. I was talking to dude early because I saw the kids on there. My bad about the noise. I'm at work right now.
It's okay.
The kids was talking, and I wanted to ask them a specific question. Like, okay, y'all, you supposed to listen to your parents. That's cool. And you probably listen to your uncle or older cousins. But I want to know, do the kids listen to other kids that's their age? Do they listen to their own peers that maybe got more game, more understanding of a situation or whatnot like that? Because I remember when I was younger, you know what I'm saying, I would listen to, you know what I'm saying, some of my peers that was like older, like a year or two older. Or if they had a lot of game, I would listen to somebody that would probably be a year younger than me.
Yeah.
Because the teaching and the game was so evident in them that you could see it. I don't be seeing this with the kids. You know what I'm saying? So I was going back and forth with the producer, with Bro, and he was saying, like, you know what I'm saying, basically the kids don't be trying to hear that. And I understand that because that's part of growing up. Like teenage years, you going to be a young adult, you want to do things your own way. You know what I'm saying? But one thing that I would put out there for these kids is we have to find a way for these kids to listen to us.
Yes.
Now I don't know what that is outside of your kids. I mean, like I told dude, like, you know, I can make my kids listen to me because I can whoop their ass, but I can't whoop every kid ass. You know what I'm saying? So it got to be a way that us as the older people are speaking, and it got to be a way that the younger people are listening to really get the message to hit home. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to let these kids know, like, this is serious, bro, because one mistake, it might be your life.
Yes. Yep. You're right.
You know?
And to your point, I know the young lady, first of all, I thank you for that. The Town, you are absolutely right. If I'm not mistaken, Brooklyn, the lady who was sitting to my right, to you guys' left, if you are watching, she did mention that they do speak with their friends and that they should talk to their friends. But I think the issue with this generation versus our generation is a lot of us who grew up who was born in the 80s and 70s and grew up in the 90s, we all had a different mind frame. So it was safe to listen to our friends because our friends wanted us to actually do better and not necessarily sit in whatever it is that we're sitting in. Today, as a mother who has a 19-year-old and an 18-year-old, one of the things that I notice is that not necessarily with just my friends, but my children's friends, but just as an educator and youth in general, is that these children, their friends has a huge influence on them. So much to the point where they don't even listen to what their parents is saying, and it isn't necessarily a positive influence, right? They have people around them who are encouraging them to do the BS that they are doing. Not all, but majority of them do. And then you have some who are their backs are in a corner and they're put in a position to where even if they aren't like that, if something pop off, they better show up, because if they don't, that's going to be a problem, right? And they don't want that embarrassment of saying that they wasn't down, or they wasn't, down to do whatever it is that's going on. But as far as them listening to our generation, oftentimes I have this conversation with my peers, and it all resorts back to, okay, first and foremost, let's take it to the beginning, right? These babies are born 2006 to like 2012, 13, 14. So anytime before 2006, we know that a lot of our brothers and some of our sisters who was a part of the mass incarceration in the 90s did not get out until 2015. That's a generation that's completely X'd out, right? We know who they are, but they have not been around. Then you have our generation, the late 30s, early 40s. We spent our adulthood trying to get our stuff together. We talked about this before too. Our parents was using our names without our knowledge. We wasn't even focused on the generation behind us, because we had watched them. We raised them. We were trying to be young adults and have something and build something for ourselves. And then the generation after them, they ended up pretty much growing. After us, they ended up pretty much growing up on their own as young adults, because we were so worried about trying to establish something for ourselves. So the disconnect between generations isn't just, the young kids. It's like, think about it. When we were 14, 15, 16, 40 years old was old to us. Shoot, 35 was old. Dang, they're 30. I didn't really want to talk to nobody that wasn't under 25. Right? And it wasn't that they did anything in particular to make me feel away. It's just that I felt like they were so outdated, that their generation was so far away. So we have to begin to naturally have these conversations where first we have to make the youth feel comfortable to want to talk to us. Because the code has changed. The street code is different. There is no street code with them. With us, it made it easier for what they consider as an old head or unk or the big homie or the OG. It made it easier for them to be able to come up to us because of the code. We understood, A, that we have to respect our elders. B, that when somebody talking to you, you talk back. That's not the case. A lot of these youth, their parents don't respect them, so they don't respect no elders. They don't respect anyone older than them. They don't care about how much work you put in, how much money you used to have, who you was. They don't care about none of that. They are literally the villains, like in their own world. And a lot of them are out here doing whatever they're doing, and they have just as much money, if not more, than the adults. So that's another layer of why do I got to listen to you? I always say and tell people, right? I watch a lot of these artists in the industry, and they do the interviews, and they say, talk about when they didn't have money versus when they do have money, and how the younger guys listen to them now when they have money, and how some people just disagree with it. But if you think about it, right, a person in this generation, their mind frame is, why would I listen to you and look at your life? If it didn't work out for you, they're not thinking how we think, like, I want to listen to you so I don't end up like that. They want to see the person that they want to be like, and they want to get the game from them. They want to get it from somebody that's doing what they doing and understand how they're doing it, right? First and foremost, they don't want to be judged. They want to feel like they are their own independent selves. And then you also have to understand too, we're dealing with an emotional ass group of individuals. This new generation is highly emotional. They're emotional about everything. They can't have their way. They get emotional. Someone makes them upset. They don't want to fight. They get emotional. They don't have social skills, right? A lot of them who are the ages that they're at now, when COVID happens, and I know people say this, but I'm telling you, when that happened for those 2 to 3 years, and those kids were at home doing homeschool, playing games and on a laptop doing work, they were not outside at a critical age when they needed to be around youth in an environment where they can properly develop. They don't have social skills. They don't know how to talk to people. Not even just in a respectful way. They don't know how to talk to people, period. They don't know how to have conversations. Their mental is not there. They are very intelligent and smart, but in areas that they choose to be. So this is a situation where it's not that we can't expect for them to come to us. So anybody out there that want to deal with the youth or has questions or they're not coming to us. They're not. If you get any of them that will, God bless them. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to put your pride to the side and you're going to have to meet them halfway. You're going to have to meet them halfway, right? They are dealing with a lot. They are in environments where they're being called out their name at home, where they got to survive on their own. They have to raise their siblings. They're raising themselves. And as someone who grew up in a house as the oldest, my mom had to work and I was watching my siblings, I felt like I was grown too at that age. If I'm helping take care of myself and pay some bills and I'm working, I'm making money, I'm grown. What can you tell me? It wasn't as bad, but that's the reality. That's how these children are. It's nothing you can tell them because they have gone through so many things that adults haven't even gone through. Point in case. My school son, Torian, he was up here. Torian does music. Torian, he got shot at 14. He's been in the detention facility at 16. Right? He's experienced things that some adults have never experienced. So some things with the youth, you can't tell them because you ain't never been in their shoes. And that's how they view it. That's their perspective. What can you tell me? First of all, look at your life. Second of all, you ain't even been through what I've been through. And the only way they're going to listen is if you build that rapport to make them feel like they have a safe space, because they don't even have a safe space at home. If their safe space isn't at home, what makes you think that they're going to have a safe space with you? Let's talk about it. 833-212-1017. We got to go to commercial break. Do not touch that dial. 101.7 The Truth.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
We asked parents who adopted teens to share their journey.
When I met both of them, it was like my missing pieces were found. Like it was just like an instant, these are my kids. If you're considering adopting a teen, just do it. Kids need families. I don't care the age, everybody deserves a family.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Doctors Without Borders is delivering life-saving medical care where it's needed most in communities around the world. From bandaging war-wounded patients in Sudan to providing clean drinking water in Haiti, we're in more than 70 countries worldwide, bringing patients from sick to recovering, from emergency to aid, from crisis to care. This life-saving care is made possible by a global movement of supporters like you. Thank you.
One on 1.7 The Truth. It's your girl Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct at the American Family Insurance Studio in the beautiful heart of downtown Milwaukee. Man, listen, today we were talking about grief. Just to wheel it back in for those who are just joining us. This past weekend, I flew to New Orleans. I am not from New Orleans, but my origin is. My family is from New Orleans. I went down there to visit my sister Zech with Shakur. We had an event with the Tupac Amaru Shakur Foundation. We went to Essence Festival, had some sisterhood time. But at the event, they were talking about healing through arts, and one of the topic was grief. And on my way back home, I seen a numerous amount of situations happening where people throughout the entire city were losing their loved ones in the span of 48 to 72 hours. And we know that this hasn't been, it's nothing new, but I made the analysis and I started researching and looking and seeing that this has happened at such a rapid rate since the beginning of this year. And when we look at the behavior that's being displayed, one of the things that we often talk about is obviously guns and, drugs and alcohol. But the core issue, one of it is grief. And people are we are walking around here grieving, right? We're walking around here grieving. We're not talking about it. We're holding it in so much to the point that all it takes is one moment for somebody to say or do something to us that makes us want to go off the Richter, that makes us want to blow up, right? And we had a real life situation today where Mech seen some young people in the 3rd Street Market Hall, and we invited them in to have a real conversation. And surprisingly, 2 of them had lost loved ones 2 months ago. And shout out to Seven, shout out to Brooklyn, shout out to all of them who came and chilled with us. And to see in real time the tears come to her eyes when she started to talk about her father. Like, I promise you, the way God worked, we had no idea. And one of the things she said was, Nia said she isolates herself, and Seven says she just don't talk to anybody, right? Again, real life examples of everyday people in this city who are walking around. We have someone 16, 19, 25, and 27. The exact age group and demographic that we are talking about when it comes to what is happening and who it is impacting, right? These are the people who are walking around every day dealing with this and have not been taught properly how to deal with it. Don't have any safe spaces other than the people that they're around. And we come and we criticize and we make jokes and we talk about parenting and all of this other stuff. But these are real life situations. The people who are picking up guns, the people who are doing drugs, the people who are using alcohol, the people who are fighting, they are grieving. They are grieving while healing in the same environment that made them sick. And somehow we think that it's supposed to be different. We have a caller on the line. Al, are you there?
Yes, I am. And I'm going to talk from experience. I don't think some of these people are dumb. I think some of them have given up. Some of them is doing bad dope. But I can recall from a situation when I was helping somebody, and it's very rare I try to do that. And trying to get them on the right track, and everybody who was telling them what not to do came back to me and said, you know what? I used to think you didn't know what you was talking about. But the people in my household said that I was trying to get over. Now, let me remind you, the people sitting in the house popping half pint bottles, collecting checks with them tore up blinds, and they the reason why all their kids is effed up. But the person I was trying to help came back to me and said, I didn't think you knew what you was talking about. But after dealing with life, I said, you know what? This person was telling me everything I needed to know, while everybody else was telling me different. And for some of these youth, some of them can do right, but some don't want to do right. They rather listen to their mama. They rather listen to their daddy, sitting there with them tore-up cars, going down there acting crazy to get a disability check while they sitting up there with that big old jug of water with bleach so they can have some light sitting in the dark like they packing in hoodoo and voodoo. A lot of them don't have to be like that. Yeah. So we got to stop saying that, you know, because they're going through poverty, some of these young people are so smart and so intelligent. Sometimes you have to talk to them in a language they can understand. Not all that Jesus Christ, Billy Bob Thornton came down, she died, though. We don't got time for all that. You got to tell them what they need to know. Nobody care what they want to hear. And it's okay to tell them your house is dysfunctional. It's not right that your daddy sit there and look stupid and wait on a check. All right? And it's okay to tell them you shouldn't have the police at your house 4, 5, 6 times a week because they don't want to get off their black ass and do what they got to do. But then again, you know, when we talk and say stuff, we look like the enemy, but that's the ones right. Who collecting the checks is more the one messing up their own kids. And then my thing is this. If you know you didn't want your kids, why did you have them? Why are you quoting Bible verses on Sunday when you brought these kids in this world just so you can sit there and be a piece of floating dookie sitting in a bunch of old urine in the toilet? If you didn't want them, you shouldn't have had them because that's free will. And birth control, you can go get that for free. Plan B is only $49 on sale. And if you talk to one of them seasoned ones, they'll tell you what to do with the jar of Vaseline. So we got to start sitting here saying, well, this and this. So I'm going to get off the phone because I don't want to talk too much. Bye.
Thank you, Al. Thank you so much. Shout out to the chat. My D said, Jazzy, glad you made it back safe from that fishbowl. Listen, we going to get into it after this break coming up soon. He also said black people has to learn the hard way, refusing to show these kids a better way. And to Al's point, right? Because I was going to say that, like, a lot of youth can do better. But when you begin to make an analysis on their living situation, is you against what's normal to them. I've been in situations, not even just with youth, but grown adults, where I try to show them that the way that they grew up, their family and their loved ones, what they're around is not normal. But guess what? It's too late. It's too late because it's their normal. That, as crazy as it sounds, that's their safe space because they know what to deal with. It's okay because they know how to deal with it. They don't know how to deal with someone else who is dysfunctional because it's like organized mess. You ever had laundry day where you just didn't feel, I don't know about y'all, but I hate laundry. I hate doing laundry, right? I will wash the mess out some clothes and dry, but I hate folding them, right? And then I would have baskets. I used to have baskets when I was younger of clothes, and then I try to pick through it, and like I didn't know where this was at, but I'm sorry, I have it this here and there, but I knew where everything was at. Organized chaos. That's what they're used to. They're used to organized chaos. They're used to their household being chaotic, but it's in a way that they understand. It's in a way that's comfortable to them because that's all they know. So when you try to combat that, and then again, we're talking the black household. It doesn't matter, especially with young black men. It does not matter A lot of times it doesn't matter what's happening with their parents, especially their mother. If they're in a single family household, don't nobody word comes above the black woman's. It don't matter how the mother treat them. You will find that a lot of young black men, even if they know they're being mistreated, they will never, ever stand up or go against their mother. Ever. So we have to find ways to connect with them and get them to unlearn so that they can relearn, right? They have to unlearn and relearn. But first, we have to figure out ways to create that safe space and that environment to get them to that point to where they can open up. A lot of things that they face too is, we all faced it. They scared to tell people what's happening. It could cost them something at home. They know that they have friends who done went and told their business. They have trust issues. They're at home. Some of them are being molested. Some of them are going through things where they just don't trust people, where they put their trust in someone and they let them down. So it's going to be hard for them to want to trust a stranger, right? Mind you, a lot of them are already living adult lives. A lot of them are already living a life that a grown person is living. They have already been through things that adults have been through. So their mind frame is a little bit different, but I'm not making excuses because a lot of them do know right from wrong. But at the end of the day, again, to Al's point too, a lot of people have simply given up. A lot of people have simply given up hope. And to be honest with you, living in a state like this, as a black woman, as a black man, it's not hard. It's not hard. If I was 17, if I was 14, 15, 16, 17, even all the way up to 19, in this day and age, I dang near will want to give up too. Because what do they have to look forward to? Please, somebody tell me. What do they have to look forward to? What have we built here to make them say, I want to live here. I want to be a part of this community. They're isolated. Everything that happens in this city is blamed on them. And then as a result, they run around the way that they run around. Dealing with grief, dealing with everything that they're dealing with, right? We just have to try a different approach, man. We have to try a different approach. We got to go to break. Do not touch that dial. 101.7 The Truth.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
Mommy, can I sit in the front seat just this one time? Please, please, please.
No, not yet.
But why?
Because I love you, and you're just not ready yet. Now, get in the back so I can get you in your car seat, please.
Putting your kids in the right seat for their age and size is an act of love. Check that your kids are in the right seat at NHTSA.gov/the right seat. Love protects. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
In sitcoms, when someone has a problem, they just blurt it out and move on.
Well, I lost my job and my parakeet is missing. How was your day?
But the real world is different. Managing life's challenges can be overwhelming. So, what do? We get support. The Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council have mental health resources available for you at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. See how much further you can go when you take care of your mental health.
For 250 years, our armed forces have bravely served America. Wounded Warrior Project honors that legacy by supporting post-9/11 service members and veterans like Anthony, a Marine who was injured by a roadside bomb in Afghanistan.
They carried me through my injuries, not just my physical, but my mental. And seeing other vets doing the same thing helped me tell myself, hey, you can do this.
Join us in honoring warriors at woundedwarriorproject.org/America.
In the United States, a vehicle is stolen every 31 seconds, about as long as this message.
Luckily, you can take a few easy steps to protect your car in the same amount of time. Remove your valuables, roll up your windows, don't leave your car running unattended, lock your doors, and take your keys or fob. If you have information about a crime, call the police. If you suspect insurance fraud, also call 800-TEL-NICB. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
I'm Chris Jakimick. I served in the United States Air Force and I deployed 3 times. So in 2017, I was serving as an Air Force First Sergeant. Our motto in that role is my job is people, everyone is my business. But unfortunately in that year, I would lose my own brother, Lance Corporal Adam Jakimick, to suicide. The majority of veteran suicides are from guns. I store my weapons securely, not only for myself, but for my family. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide. My service never stops.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
101.7 The Truth. It's your girl Jazz Tyler. We are live and direct at the American Family Insurance Studio in the beautiful heart of downtown Milwaukee at UW Milwaukee. Students don't have to wait until college to start building their future. Roar Ready lets students in K through 12th grade join in hands-on programs across campus, from science and tech to art, sports, and more. Students try new things, meet new people, and build skills that matters. Get started today at uwm.edu/Roar Ready. Truth Nation, shout out to the chat and all the listeners. Listen, Marty, Jasmine West, y'all a little late today. I got a bone to pick with y'all. Y'all about a good hour late now. Y'all know this shit. Come on now. Y'all know the check-in time.
You know how they do. Guys gonna get up out of here real fast.
They late, Meech. They supposed to tap in about the 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock. It's all good. It's Monday. We understand. We had some great conversations today around the city, the state that the city is in, when it pertains to grief and why people are what they're dealing with and how they're dealing with it and why we're in the state that we're in. Meech managed to actually bring some special guests in unexpectedly, right? They were out in the 3rd Street Market Hall, and we got a chance to talk to real people in real time, real citizens in the city of Milwaukee who are actually dealing with these things. So that was amazing. But I want to bring it back to the beginning of the conversation. Before I jump into that, I do want to end with this, right? As someone who has been through things when it comes to grief, not just losing people, but losing situations, moving on from people who are still here, those who may be going through it, I want you to know that it's not okay. Whatever happened to you is not okay. It's not going to be okay. And if anybody tells you that, they're lying. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. Some days you're going to feel like talking to people. Some days you aren't. Some days you're going to have memories, and that's good. Some days it'll be bad memories. But at the end of the day, you can only do what you can do. You have to take it one day at a time. Whatever it is you can give for that day, give it. And whatever you can't, who don't understand it, they don't need to be around you, right? Make sure you have your support system in place. Not just people who pop up when something's wrong, but begin to analyze the people around you. Begin to analyze your life to make sure you have the correct support. Take time for yourself. Take time to sit in what you're dealing with. And most importantly, pray. Shout out to Jasmine West. She said, everything that's being said, I've seen it throughout my school bus driving career. Now I drive kids and teens in the foster care system. I learned how to talk to them all, males and females. Yes. Communicating with them is the key. Shout out to Jasmine, man. We a little salty. Y'all tapped in late today. It's all good. We still love y'all. Madi said, I apologize, Jazzy, for being, I'm in high demands. Time moving too fast. Turned 56 on the 4th of July. Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday, Madi. Happy belated birthday. We're going to have to play a birthday song for you. But going back to the beginning of the show, I was sharing my trip in New Orleans this past weekend. For those who are just now listening, I took a trip, y'all. I'm not from New Orleans, but my origin is, my grandfather is a French Creole man by the name of Saint Elmo Dugas. And he is from New Orleans. We have family from Baton Rouge and Jackson, Louisiana as well. So I was extremely excited to go down there and see people who look just like me. People who look like my family. But most importantly, I went to visit my sister Zech with Shakur. And she invited me. We had a ball. Spent the day, first day in the pool with drinks with the ladies, having great conversations. After we had an event at the Ashe Art Center around dealing with health, mental health, and navigating that through the arts. And then we went to Essence Festival the weekend, right? Set ended up talking to Yo-Yo. Brandy brought out Yo-Yo and MC Light for her tribute. Shout out to Aisha and Nzinga. We ended up going to catch Brandy and Monica and Babyface. And listen, it was a time. As much as I enjoy Essence Fest, I'll get into that, the concert, baby. That food was off the chain. So much to where I had to get the recipes, the crawfish cornbread and the char-grilled oysters with the Parmesan cheese and the fried oyster shrimp po' boy. Man, listen, if you want to have a good time, all you got to do is go to New Orleans and go eat. I've heard about it all my life, but baby, let me tell you. Oh my gosh. I've never had food that felt like somebody's soul was in the food. And I hate to say it because of the culture of New Orleans, but that's exactly what it felt like. It felt like whoever was cooking put a little bit of soul, their soul, in that food, baby. It was made with love. You better believe it. It was made with love. But this concert, man, listen, I've seen the blogs. I've seen comments. I've seen all of that about Cardi B performance and Lotto performance and all of that. To me, from the concert I went to, the best show was Babyface. Babyface got off, okay? First of all, he was popping his ish because nobody got more hits than him, all right? We talking not just singing, but writing. Because a lot of these songs, I didn't even know he wrote. And that man looked good. He don't got no plastic surgery or nothing. That man, Uncle Kenny, looked good. He was up there moving like a young man. Gyrating all over the stage, back and forth, putting on a show. Man, Brandy and Monica, love them to death. But I'm telling you, if they do another 3 to 4 hour concert, I'm not going. Mama, Auntie was tired, okay? I was tired. We started all the way. Here we are face to face. Now we all the way. And by the time the second hour came, it was, first of all, I started off like a verses. So it was, they started with The Boy Is Mine, The Boy Is Mine's song. Then Brandy did a song, Monica did a song, Brandy did a song, Monica did a song, back and forth, back and forth. And I hadn't realized how many hits and songs that they have. Remind you, the show was amazing. But we didn't get out of here till about 2 a.m. Okay? They didn't come on stage until 11:30, 11:45, 11:45. The concert started at 11:45 and did not end until 2 a.m. of just Brandy and Monica. Like, it was long. It was extremely long. But I absolutely loved it. I enjoyed it. I love seeing the new aunties get up there and do their thing. And yeah, it was a great experience. I have to go back. Madi says, did you eat some gator? No, absolutely not. I will never in my life eat gator. I think I had gator maybe once. But listen, some things you just can't try. Cause we ain't got no business eating no gator. What is we even eating gator for? Like, what? Please, somebody tell me what is the purpose? What is the purpose? I'm sorry, Marty. I love food and culture, but that ain't my thing. That's not my thing. I can't mess with no gator. Not at all. No. I stick to what I know. The oysters, the seafood, all of that good stuff, man. Salmon. Yeah. Listen. Anytime I go back down there, other than the sea set, it's gonna be to eat. I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm a little big person. I had the opportunity of going on Canal Street. That was beautiful. I did not realize how the tropical environment that it had. But I'm eager to go back. I'm eager to go back to visit my family. I'm eager to go back to see where my grandfather grew up and to really, really get in the roots of my family and where we come from. So overall, New Orleans don't owe me nothing. I had an amazing time with people I love. I got a chance to reset and take some time to breathe and just reflect and dive into my sisterhood with the family. And I truly, truly enjoyed myself. Marty said gator is a bottom feeder. Absolutely. I don't mess with catfish. I don't mess with gator. I don't do none of that. I'm dang near about to give up shrimp too and crab legs. But then I'm gonna have to go ahead and give it up.
So what you gonna eat?
You was finna say something, Meech. I can do salmon and perch. I don't want to do bottom feeders because they eat everything. Like why would you want to eat something that eat everything? It's like,
you eat pork now?
No, I don't eat pork, but I have a confession. Oh, baby, I had some pork bacon this weekend and it was so good. Oh my gosh. I ain't had no pork bacon in a long time. That pig was off the chain. Whoever cut that pig up did a great job. Did an amazing job. We got to go to break. Do not touch that dial. 101.7 The Truth.
Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there. Sunny and 75. Almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot, fast, and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, honey bear.
'Cause remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
When a warrior faces adversity, he fights through it. He finds a way. Freedom isn't free. Rolling strong. Belief. Believe you can, and you will.
Wheelchairs for Warriors provides mobility solutions to veterans and first responders injured in the line of duty. Join the mission and visit wheelchairsforwarriors.org.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
For 75 years, the Muscular Dystrophy Association's voices have thundered through the halls of Congress.
For 75 years, we've willed the impossible into existence.
For 75 years, the MDA community has pushed the science,
shifted the narrative, and established the field of neuromuscular medicine.
And until that day when this is all a thing of the past,
you couldn't stop us if you tried.
Join us and celebrate 75 years of breakthroughs at MDA75.org.
You can't buy a best friend. You can love them, walk them, pet them, and care for them, whether they want you to or not. You can take a picture or 50. You can fly to the moon, travel the world, or just stay in bed. You can't buy a best friend like that, but you can adopt one. There are millions of pets waiting for a best friend just like you. Help us save them all at bestfriends.org.
101.7 The Truth. It's your girl Jazz Tyler. Listen, the chat. Y'all late today, but it's cracking. Marty said, Jazzy, stop eating that swine. Listen, I only had it one time. I don't eat pork, but it was so hot down there. Okay, first of all, let me tell you something. I've been to Florida. I've been to Arizona. I've been to a lot of cities. And I know that a lot of cities got water bugs, but nobody prepped me for these cockroaches that New Orleans got. All right? Them cockroaches is bigger than Texas. Okay? I was not prepared. And the mosquitoes, they just ran through me like I was just a tramp. My body is ate up. Listen, oh my, as much fun as I had, I am paying for it. But to your point, Marty, it was so hot. It was hot. And I needed something to put on my stomach until my food came. So I just ordered some fruit and some bacon. I feel like I kind of balanced it out. I had more fruit than bacon, but the bacon was good. The food was good. Tomorrow, we have Katina Shaw, the Vice President of Community Relations for the Milwaukee Brewers. We will be interviewing her tomorrow. I met Katina, the first time I met her and seen her was about 2 years ago when I did a women in sports panel at the Gathering downtown, the Gathering spot or the Gather downtown Milwaukee. And then recently when we took our students on, shout out to Vidal Hill, Vidal invited us to take our youth, the students at Howard Fuller, to an event with the Brewers, private event with some of the players, got to meet them and just got to see what she does at a higher level. And I was just so amazed with her. As someone who has done sports, who did events, community events for a lot of athletes and entertainers, I know like it's one thing to do it on that level. It's another thing to do it for 18 years and work your way up as a Black woman who is a vice president in an organization like that. And again, I'm excited to sit down with her and really get some conversations going, especially for those who may be interested in fields like this, in positions like this, and to figure out how we can bring our expertise and take where we come from and merge that with something as big as a Brewers Foundation. And speaking of the Brewers, they've been getting off. Okay? Well, all of this stuff happening with the Bucks, the Brewers has not let us down, baby. I don't know if you watch football, but they be getting it on, and they really, really making us proud right now. What? What's the problem, Z? I can't hear you. What's wrong?
You said football.
I said Brewers.
I know, but then you said you don't know if they.
Oh, I'm sorry. Football. I don't know if you watch baseball. Thank you, Z.
I'm like,
Thank
what
you.
Football got to do with the Brewers?
I don't know if you watch baseball, but the Brewers have been making us look good. So maybe we should start putting more support into that, right? But make sure y'all tap in tomorrow as we sit down with Katina Shaw. Madi says in the chat, flying roaches in the South, mosquitoes hit different. Listen, I was not prepared. I don't like bugs. They was talking about me saying I was acting light-skinned and all of this other nonsense. No, I just don't like bugs. It's not normal for a cockroach to be flying outside that big. That makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. I would never in my life be okay with any situation like that. No mosquitoes, no water bugs, no gator, eating gator, none of that. All right. None of that whatsoever. I don't want to deal with that. He said, we know what you mean, Jazzy. Giannis is gone. Yeah, Giannis is gone. Yes, he is. I seen Giannis put out a statement today, too. Bobby Portis just put his statement out as well. But Giannis said that no matter where he goes, Milwaukee will always be his home and we will always be his family. And you know what? I truly feel like that. I do believe that. I believe that certain players, no matter when they move on, their imprint in this city is so impactful that they'll always have a home here, right? I don't know how many often come back, but I think we've had players like that before. The Ray Allens, the Big Dogs, the Tim Thomases, different people who really, really rock with the city, the Brandon Jennings, so I still would love to see Giannis come back and visit and all of that. Bobby Portis, I mean, he was here for 6 years, but I don't know. I don't dislike him. I don't know. BP different. He different. He ain't really like, to me, it wasn't like, it was more so Jay Holiday. That's, to me, that didn't make sense, and that, I felt the way about that. But, yeah. Until we can get who we can get, Brewers, we need to put more energy into them because they getting it in. I'm telling you, they getting it in. I know football season is about to start back up too, but right now, we're going to baseball this thing out. You feel me? I hope that you all had an amazing weekend. I hope that you got some good barbecue in your system. I know some of y'all was over there with y'all family drinking and playing spades and dominoes and having a ball, right? And as we continue to enjoy ourselves this summer because of the things that's been happening, especially with accidents, I ask that you drink responsibly, that you indulge responsibly. Please do not drink and drive, and please do not let your friends, family, or anyone you love leave wherever y'all at under the influence, knowing that they ain't got no business driving. All right? It's a lot of people out here losing loved ones in their lives because of this. So please, again, make sure y'all partying safely, man. The summer is almost coming to an end. It's almost coming to an end that fast. Quick as it come, as quick as it go. But yes, as we continue this summer, man, let's have a real life safe summer. Not just with the youth, but adults too. Let's make sure we're all playing our part. We're all doing.
Enough with the fireworks, Milwaukee.
Please listen. Let me tell you something. Okay. First of all, I feel so bad for the veterans because I'm not even a veteran. I got PTSD though. I think all black people got PTSD. I think it's safe to say. But the veterans, no one thinks about that when they're popping these fireworks. It can send them into mental psychosis. Like, is that also?
I think that's what happened to that one officer.
I was just going to say that. Like, I don't know the entire situation, but popping fireworks isn't the safe thing either. And if you live on a block or in a neighborhood where the houses are so close together, please don't pop them.
They overdid it this year.
They did.
It's cool to have a few, but it seemed like it was just overdid. Like they had it was too many. Like it's not enforced that we not supposed to have actual fireworks in Milwaukee, but
I think
it's just overdone. Just me.
It was
overdid.
It was overdone, and it was being inconsiderate too, because the amount of it. Like I know for me growing up, we all used to come together collectively on the block and pop them together. Ain't nobody popping them separate in their house, in their yards. We all doing it. Bring all your fireworks together. Let's do it together. And then once it's done, that's it. Now they just doing it.
Some blocks was cut off. You trying to go down the block. It's number of fireworks. They got the whole block cut off. But I just think of the amount of fireworks
Too much.
people have this year versus the previous years. It's just been overdid. You know
Way
what I mean?
it's
Like,
way too much. Way too much. And then it's like, I guess we gotta pick our battles because are they gonna try to stop the fireworks or are they gonna try to stop crime? I don't know. But next year, please, not even next year, because they still popping them. They still popping them. We don't want to hear no more fireworks. I don't for sure. Please, y'all, stop popping these fireworks, man. It's not safe. It's annoying. Y'all doing too much. I'm tired of it. Don't want to hear it no more. Listen, before we get out of here, I got to shout out to my homeboy Wavy Boy next week, July 17th. We will be at the rave hosted by yours truly, featuring special guest Wyclef and Pleasure P. Turning up for Wavy Boy's birthday party. MJ will be in the building performing as well. We want to see y'all there.
So you hosting?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
I mean, you just rolled over that. Come on now.
Well, initially Kelly Kells was hosting, but she ended up getting booked for a show. I don't mind being a fill-in. I think this is going to be an amazing show, especially after that versus seeing Pleasure P a Friday. Yep, that versus. So it's going down next Friday. Shout out to the whole team, E2 Wavy Boy. You are now listening to Pretty Woman by MJ. Truth Nation, make sure y'all stay right, stay tight, and stay light. Stay safe. Get some water. Tap in tomorrow, 101.7 The Truth.
Pretty woman, oh yeah, I need you for sure. Oh yeah, I got a late night plan. Oh yeah, and it's something you can't ignore. Oh, pretty woman, oh, I'ma leave you wanting more. Hey yeah, pretty woman. Oh, I want you the most. Hey, pretty woman, I make them crazy, have them beating down my door. Yeah, I know you ain't met a real one like me. Just go with the flow. Pretty woman, it's last call, and this joint about to close. Finish that whiskey, baby. So put your number in my phone, lock in, and let's go explore. Pretty woman, oh, popping out tonight with a pretty woman. I just need one night. Pretty woman, you such a vibe. Pretty woman, oh, you got me hypnotized.
You're listening to Milwaukee Black Talk on 101.7 FM.
The Truth.
And 1510 AM. W269DL. Milwaukee. A Milwaukee Black media company.
Wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. Improving lives so everyone can thrive. Where more people can gain access to healthcare and nutritious food for their tables. Where more community members can benefit from financial education and get connected to local resources for housing support. And where children are given more chances to reach their full potential. Community is where we find our strength and where we share our hope. United is the way. Visit unitedway.org.
Are people around me safe when I vape? Science does not support that belief. Exhaled vape emissions linger in the air, affecting indoor air quality and bystanders in the same space through secondhand exposure. Vaping emissions can also accumulate on clothes, hair, dust, and furniture, leading to exposure risks to bystanders of all ages. And vaping around a pregnant person can lead to serious health impacts on fetal and childhood development. Enough with the puff. Learn more at ul.org/vaping.
My mom has decided to learn to paint, and she's good.
My dad's now into creative cuisine, and I've already put on 6 pounds.
Learning new things comes with age.
My mom, she started forgetting my name and what we're talking about.
Forgetting well-known things doesn't. Memory loss may be a sign of Alzheimer's disease. Early detection gives you and your loved one time to plan for the future. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Reading aloud to children sharpens their listening skills, expands their vocabularies, and nurtures a lifelong love of reading. That's why Reading is Fundamental, the nation's leading children's literacy nonprofit, offers free monthly read-alouds by popular authors through its Rally to Read program. Visit rallytoread.org to watch the read-alouds and discover exciting reading activities for school and home. Visit rallytoread.org today.
Watch and listen to The Truth with Sherwin.